is. Because people don't know. And they may be stepping on your toes, not even realize. They may be stepping on their toes because they're pains in the butt, but they may really just not know what you're trying to do. And it just helps settle people down if they know what everybody's relative position is in the hierarchy and what everybody's handling. So it's just something to keep in mind there. Patient, needless to say. Okay, the brutality. I'm not good at brutal, but if you need to have a good hissy fit, do it once. Let them know you can do it. And don't do it a lot. And that's like, you can talk to your boss's boss like once, but it better be damn good what you're going to talk to him about. You don't keep doing that. So basically those are the things that kind of clubbed me over the head, and I think that's what SPAF wanted. So hopefully between Wendy with more of the R&D and me having hung around with the government a little bit longer, you'll see what it's like out there and give you some things to think about. And maybe you're doing these things. You got them under your wing and maybe it gave you a little bit of food for thought. Any questions on that? Or
we have time for a couple more questions.
Yeah. Yeah, please.
What's the management structure there? I work for the government now, and it's kind of surreal, but I regularly have conversations with my boss's 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 boss. And it's just bizarre. They have people that have been there a while, so they don't know what to do with them, and they stick them in another layer of management.
They do create layers of management. That's good. I won't answer for the government, and maybe Mark might want to do a little bit. I don't know how he's feeling about that. But as far as Lockheed Martin, we start with, we have different companies. We have acquired a lot of companies. So the major, I guess there's probably 5 major companies, and they each have a president. Then the president will have maybe 5 VPs. And then underneath VPs are directors. Like, I'm hoping to end my career as a technical director. I don't see me going to a VP, and certainly not to a president. But, that's okay. I'll be happy. I'll be technical. I'll be out to RSA 2005 still. I'll be able to have all that kind and get cool T-shirts. They don't get cool T-shirts. You get up to that level, you don't get cool T-shirts anymore. So, or scarves with neurons on it. I wouldn't get that if I was up at that level. But, I don't know. You want to explain a little bit of government?
I think.
Why don't you come up here?
20 years with the government. The only advice I give you is that, regardless of that culture, whoever your supervisor is or whoever his boss is, no one likes to be surprised, and no one likes to be embarrassed. So if you have an opportunity to interact with your supervisor's supervisor or further up the chain, it would be nice to make sure that your boss is well aware of that, and also share the credit with your boss, because
that's good for Lockheed Martin too. Yeah.
Your responsibility is to do the mission, support the mission, and support your bosses trying to get them promoted so you can move into that slot.
He's a smart man.
Is it a relatively flatter structure than government itself? I mean, if you're doing government contracting, or do they adopt the same structures as the government?
I would say it's not too different, really, because when we have, and then a director will have maybe his hierarchy. Like, I'm coming into a deputy director position, and I'll have maybe 17 engineers under me. 20. I think in Lockheed Martin, to be able to be called a manager, you have to manage over 20 people. So the lower level is probably 20 people.
Well, this is all the technical levels. There's another entity, kind of like the presidential entity at Lockheed Martin, called corporate. And they have their own structure there. So once you're, a president of one of these 5 companies, the next step would be to metamorphose into corporate. And so,
Well, like all things go to corporate and die there, right? So we have to end the class right at that point. Thank you.
Oh, very good.
Thank you, Wendy.
Now we just need your, I never got...